Hello, everyone. It's time to eat, drink, and be merry with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Wine Time with Peggy show. You know what? This is it's a special time of year. It is the holiday season. And we've been having so much fun with Peggy this year. Every first Wednesday, she joins the show, Peggy Fiandaca. She is the co-owner of LDV Winery in Arizona. And the vineyard is in the Chiricahua foothills. And if you go to southern Arizona, southeast Arizona, and you go out there in winter, and if you see it when it snows, it is one of the most magical places to be. These geological rock formations and snow in the desert. There's nothing like it. But this is where they grow their grapes and make their wine. And then they have a tasting room up in Scottsdale, Arizona. And hey, I mean, that is an art city known around the world. So a little shopping, a little wine tasting. I mean, and hey, just go to the winery and get some wine. That's like the best present you can give someone. So the website is ldvwinery.com. So welcome back, Peggy. How are you?
I'm terrific. I'm getting in the holidays mood and
Cool.
looking forward to the season.
Do
Yay.
you like Christmas music? Do you like to play Christmas music?
Oh, I love it. I love everything about the holidays and decorating and used to be on the Christmas home tour in the past. And so we do Christmas up pretty big.
Oh, that's cool.
I like
I know.
that.
I know you love to cook and entertain. Our last segment with you is for Thanksgiving. We were talking about wine pairings, which also kind of go with Christmas, right? And holiday preparing. But today we're going to talk a lot about, well, we got to have a vineyard update because I was just talking about the snow. What happens in December for the vineyard?
You know, December is kind of a quiet month. We might get some snow towards the end of December, early January, but we're in full dormancy with the vines. They have gone to sleep. We've done all of our nutrients prior to December, and we're into just deep watering to keep them going. Hopefully we don't get below zero. I mean, that is problematic more for the irrigation system and freezing and that type of thing. But no, there's very little to do in the winter time until, January, February, March time frame. But yeah, we're working in the winery now.
Oh, you get to party basically. So now
well,
Oh, come on.
I don't call it a party. It's a lot of work.
Do you ever take a day off? I just have to ask because you do so much work with the winery, the tasting room.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
it's a 7 day a week, all the time work, and but we do have fun. I mean, it's not when I host people at the winery or if I host people at the tasting room, nothing gives me more joy than to turn people on to new wines or to the Arizona wine industry. I mean, that's why we do this, and it's a lot of fun. So
that's awesome.
Cool.
Well, that's like us. I mean, I don't think it ever ends. And
no.
you
But
do
you
what you
don't want
love.
it to.
You don't,
Yeah.
yeah, you do what you love. I mean, I don't remember like going, okay, I'm taking a day off and not doing something. I don't remember unless,
I don't think
really
that
being sick, but
happens.
I still work when I'm sick, if I
Right.
can. I
Right.
just,
I mean, there's always something to do, right?
Right.
Always something to do.
but
And
that's
you
why
want
we
to
have,
do it.
but that's why we have wine too, because it reminds us to take a little breather. You do get to enjoy your own wine. This is
Of
important.
course. Of
Okay.
course. Of course.
So what is your favorite wine for the holiday season?
I like Pinot Noir. I think it's a wonderful fruit forward wine. But then again, I like big reds. So give me a big Zinfandel from Northern California. I love that. Or, of course, our Petite Syrah can't
I
be.
love your Petite Syrahs. Like
Correct.
that needs to be at the top of the list. Like seriously, I'll never forget that moment of having a sip of the Petite Syrah. I just was like, we tasted it with our friends in Asheville, Sherry and Rosie, and they were making dinner and everything, and everyone's talking. And I'm just like, everybody stop. It's just this is amazing. I mean, I couldn't believe it just came out of literally our backyard when we used to live there. So I
All right.
amazing. And I keep telling people, Southeast Arizona, I mean, from Wilcox, Chiricahua, your area, all the way down to Elgin, Sonoyta, I
Mhm.
think it's, and even, if you go up north a little bit from you, the
Mhm.
wine is exceptional and people are shocked,
Yeah.
but I'm serious. It's exceptional.
I mean, it's a fast growing industry in Arizona. We have over 125 licenses, people
Wow.
producing. Yeah. And I mean,
Wow.
when we started, we were number 17. So we're up to 100 and over 125.
Wow.
It's a fast growing industry, low water use crop. It's a family,
Perfect.
family farming. It's just a wonderful way to get tourism to rural areas, and it helps the local economy, creates jobs. So we're thrilled to be a part of a growing industry in Arizona.
I think it helps even the park.
That's
Like I
very
keep talking
cool.
about Chiricahua National Monument and
Oh,
the
sure.
Cochise Stronghold area, but like if you're going to go to Wilcox or that area, you could spend a few days doing the wine tasting. Fort Bowie, you've got Fort Bowie, very probably one of the quieter parks we have in the country, honestly.
Mhm.
But the history there
Correct.
is intense. I mean,
Mm.
it's just you can stand where Geronimo was captured, and sadly,
Mhm.
and just that was the site of the Apache Wars, and it's like,
Right.
but then you turn around and there's wine. It's like
Right.
what So
Mhm.
it's also one of the top birding destinations
Correct.
in the
Yes.
world. Hummingbirds, especially. So, like I know December is just you want to go bird watching, that's a good time. So birds, December, January, February. So just thinking about winter in your area
Right.
is, and then everybody puts little cups and little Santa hats on the saguaro cactus. Do you do that?
Right, exactly. You bet. And up in the valley, of course, not down at the vineyard. We don't have saguaros,
Mm.
but yeah. And the other thing we have are the night skies are
Oh yeah.
absolutely incredible
Mm.
for looking at stars and planets and that type of thing. So yeah, it's an undiscovered place. Southeastern Arizona is, and we invite people to come year round because there's something to do all the time, in
Mm.
addition to drinking wine.
Oh well, we love the wine
Oh,
part. Like
well, yes. And
listen,
sometimes you can do it at the same time as something
yes,
else.
you
Right,
can.
You
Yes, you
can.
can. So I know I want to get through our we're gonna talk wine gifting. We love this part. Mulled
yes,
wine.
Mm.
We're gonna talk about wine glasses. You've got all this, but on our education side, we've learned about the vineyard now. What
correct.
about, okay, the wine term of the month is racking. So is this literally like, we've been to vineyards where you put it on the racks and then you turn it, or is that
No,
another method?
that's actually riddling.
Champagne.
That's
Oh,
riddling
that's
that you do
riddling.
for champagne, where you turn the bottle every
Mhm.
day a little bit. That's called riddling. No,
Oh.
racking is the way to clarify or separate the clear juice from sediment or any of the solids that might
Oh.
be in the wine. So racking is a technique that we use particularly to clarify our wine, so that we don't have to use animal products to clear or
Mm.
any additives to clarify our
Oh.
wine. So racking is done for both red and white wines. And how you do it is when the wines are in the barrels, aging, or the wine could be in a tank, you remove the wine from that barrel. And typically from the barrel, we move it into a tank, a holding tank. And then we clean that barrel, sanitize that barrel of any, and we're removing any of the sediment or solids that might have fallen to the bottom of the barrel. We return the wine, once it's sanitized, we return the wine to that barrel, and then we top it off with additional wine because we don't want, any oxygen to get in. So we do that probably 6 times a year. And that is our
Wow.
way of naturally kind of clarifying that wine. And you during that process, you'll lose some wine to aspiration, I guess is what it's called, but
Hmm.
we're willing, and it's also called the angel share.
Oh
But
yeah, you got to give a little bit. Yeah,
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 we got
that's
to give
right.
a little
Back to
bit back.
nature. Mhm.
Yep. So we don't mind losing that little bit because I think it's a real natural and wonderful way to clarify the wine. A lot of other wineries will wait until they're getting ready to bottle, or they don't do it as often as we do. But that's our way of clarifying the wine.
So that's
So-
what keeps you vegan.
Correct. That's one of the
Like
ways. Yep.
So the wines that have tiger bone in it, I've seen wines with tiger bone.
Well, we've heard about them.
And-
We've not.
right.
That's an older
That's
thing that was done.
weird.
That's in a different country, but sometimes there's the tiger bone thing was a lot. It was like crushed up as an additive. I don't think it was
That's
used for
hard.
racking.
Is that a filter thing? What is?
No,
why would-
it's probably the way they're clarifying the wine, you know.
Huh.
So what a lot of other wineries will do is you put in additives that then attract those that sediment and so on, and then you scoop it out. Basically, we don't do that because we don't want to put any plastics or fish
weird
bladders
stuff.
or
And
See, but that-
milk products.
See, that just happened to me the other day. There's some wines that I'm allergic to,
Correct.
and
Correct.
I can sit there and all of a sudden I just start coughing, and it's like some people gave us a bottle of wine to try, and as soon as I started tasting it, I just started coughing like you wouldn't believe. And we're both allergic to fish, and the first thing I
Oh.
thought was, you know what? I think this has
Mhm.
got something fishy in there.
Yeah,
you know?
and you know, we don't have to tell you how we clarified the wine and what
Yeah.
products or additives that we put in the wine. The only thing that we're required to do by federal law is say that we added sulfites. But other than that, most people are allergic, or a lot of people are allergic to eggs or dairy products, or like
Mhm.
fish, and those are very common ways of clarifying the wine.
Wow.
But we rack our wines.
Well, cheers
so-
to you. You get 10 points. Well,
Yeah.
wait, 12 because it's the 12 days of Christmas.
Right, exactly. And we'll put up with a little sediment in our bottles in the finished wine because we can't get everything out, and we also don't filter. So you'll find a little sediment left in our big
Right.
reds, and as they age, there'll be a little bit more sediment left in it. But hey, we'd rather do that and produce the cleanest bottle of wine that we possibly can.
I'm
Yeah.
all for that. I think
Yeah.
'cause
Mhm.
it's normally with the red wine that I have that reaction,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I didn't have that reaction with yours, you know.
Good.
And it's sad because it could be a really good bottle of wine, but if you have these
Mm.
reactions, and then somebody
can't
sent me a
drink it.
thing saying that you can use this to make it so people who have allergies won't have allergies, like a filter thing, and I'm like,
Correct. I know.
Is
I've
that-
heard of that. I don't know. I don't know.
that
And
doesn't sound right. I don't know, but no,
I don't know about that. And
I don't, you
you
can't
know,
take
there's-
fish out for me, I don't
Right.
think, you know.
The big debate now in the industry is labeling our wines like food products, you know, so that it may become a requirement that we have to put any additives that we use on the bottle. But right now, that is not the requirement.
Mm.
Just now, I mean,
Interesting.
we're gonna have to, you know, have a list of I walk 10 steps out the door, I walk 3 to the right, 4 we're just getting so labelized. It's like
Right.
I think somebody was smart in the labeling industry, in the packaging, and said, let's make
Right.
everybody have to label everything. So, you know, just saying it just is nonstop with that in business. And that's why we need wine at the end of the day. But let's go to the holidays, because the holidays are always exciting. And I know you wanted to touch on, you know, we've talked about pairings before, especially with food and the holiday foods, but having the right wine glass. Now, Nancy and I always go around and round on this. I'm like, no, that's a white wine glass. And she'll go,
Right.
well, what's the difference? And then, you know, then
There are, I mean, you could
apparently
spend
I'm wrong half the time, by the way,
Right.
just so you know.
but you can spend a lot of money on wine glasses, and you could buy, I mean, there are wine glasses for every kind of wine, you know, from a Bordeaux wine to a Burgundy wine. Pinot
Wow.
Noir has a wine glass. So depending on how much you want to spend will be, you know, how much you want to invest in wine glasses. I'm all for getting a good everyday wine glass, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. So I have our wine glass, which is a nice, not real expensive, but it is a nice drinking wine. And so some things to look for when you're choosing a wine glass. Of course, I like a stemmed glass, not a, a stemless.
Tumbler,
And I think
yeah.
we've talked about it. When you have a stemless glass, you're holding it like this and you're smudging up your glass, plus you're warming the wine. And
Right.
since the three of us always drink a lot of red wine, we don't want to warm up our glass. So choose a
Right.
stemmed glass. And this is a nice, fairly thin stem, but it's sturdy. It's not going to break every time you put it in the dishwasher. And these are dishwasher safe. The other key thing about this glass is, I know maybe you can see the rim of it. You
Mhm.
want a rim that is fairly thin on the glass. So some of those glasses are fairly thick. It doesn't allow you to really experience the wine in your mouth as well. And then what's nice about this, you'll see that there's a taper on this glass. So there's a gentle taper. And of course, when you pour your wine, a full glass of wine is actually only to here.
Hear that,
not-
Nancy? Do
it's
you hear
not-
that, Nancy?
What?
It is not up to
What?
here.
See, I know,
What you
and even
talking about?
Dr. Jackie Abadi, she says we were only supposed to do 5 ounces, and Nancy goes, "Well, that's 5 ounces."
That's 5
And I'm like,
ounces.
"No," and I always say it changes the flavor
It does.
profile.
It does. So you want, this is 5 ounces on this glass. And
See?
you want it also, that's about where the glass is turning in. Because what's important in one is to be able to swirl, be able to swirl and not get all over. Nancy, you're swirling and getting it all over Lisa. You
Nancy's
don't want-
legless. Nancy
Yeah,
gets
I
legless,
don't swirl.
Okay, you don't want it.
and she doesn't spit either. By the
I swirl it in the bottle, then I pour it.
it doesn't work
But-
that way.
But because it narrows at the top, it allows you to put your whole nose in there to be able to do the smell of the wine and the aromas of
Right.
the wine.
Mhm.
So this is a nice everyday glass, probably $8 to $10 retail. So I would go with something like this, and we put our reds in this because of the nice bowl, and the aromas will, when you swirl, they'll kind of go up, and you can put your whole nose into it.
Well,
But
I want some
typically-
wine right now. You keep talking about red
Me
wine. I'm
too.
like, this is
I'm
cruel.
like, dude, I need
Yeah.
to swirl.
I need
Yeah.
I need a swirly. I'm gonna have the tea is just not cutting it now.
Uh-oh.
So if you pick a good wine glass, one of my other great holiday gifts that you might want to buy is invest in a wonderful decanter. So I have this beautiful decanter with a very contemporary looking decanter, but you can get them all different shapes and sizes and price points on this. This was a gift to us, and so it's very heavy leaded glass. And what you want, particularly if you drink the big red wines, is you want a decanter because you want, like our Petit Syrah. So if I'm serving the signature Petit Syrah, I will decant it an hour before I serve it. And I would not have the lid on when I'm doing that. So I'd pour it in, and you would pour it in slowly, so that, again, watching the sediment, actually you would do it, because I'm right-handed. So I'd be watching the sediment keeping it in the bottle and not getting it into my decanter. And then I would sit this on the table for about an hour and let it breathe and open up. And so for big reds, I would definitely use a decanter. So this was a fun gift for that wine lover in your life.
Do you sell things like your glasses and your decanters? Do you do that?
We sell the wine glasses. We don't. I don't have a lot of retail space, unfortunately, at our location, so I don't have a lot of retail.
I see what's
products.
going next.
Yeah, but yeah, the decanters are wonderful, and they don't have to be expensive, but they hold a bottle of wine at least. Some bigger ones will hold 2 bottles of wine, but yeah, decanter.
So at the vineyard, I mean, not the vineyard, at the tasting room and online, I know now you can start shipping wine. I need to get to this is the most important. People can get your wine right now, anywhere across the country, right? They can order your wine.
Yeah,
No,
there's only a few states that I can't.
And they need to stop those laws. Like,
Correct.
really, come on, the world is better with wine.
Yes.
Can you ship internationally, or is that a no-no?
No, I
See, we need
cannot.
to that needs to change. This world
That's
needs more wine. So,
correct.
okay. Oh, that has to have the distributor, wholesaler thing and all that
Correct.
businessy stuff that we don't know anything about. But
Correct.
we know you work hard on all of that stuff. But so people can order now. Now, what about gift certificates? Like,
And we
what
have,
if,
yeah,
yeah?
you can call up from anywhere in the country and get a gift certificate for someone. We can mail it directly to that person with a nice card or from you, whatever you'd like.
I
You can
think
get
that's a really good idea because I know people that don't they try to gift us wine. I don't know how
right.
they know, but they do for some reason.
Can't
And
imagine.
they're like, "Well, what type of wine do you like? What is this called?" I don't like. They really don't. They don't drink or whatever, but they know, and they're always like, "Well, is it a Merlot that you drink?" No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Merlot.
No, hey, listen, I like to say that. I like
I
to
know.
say
I know
Merlot.
you
It's
do,
fun.
Merlot.
But for people who don't know wine and maybe just don't drink for whatever reason, for them to be able to give a gift certificate to a wine lover and a wine enthusiast allows the wine person to explore the way they would explore if they were going to the tasting room or online going, hey, well, I love a petite sirah, let me get that. So I think the gift certificates are cool to do.
Absolutely. And so that people would call me directly and I can get them any denomination of gift certificate. However, we also have a gift guide on our website. So if people want to give something a gift and we give them some ideas, like
Oh, cool.
It's fun to do like P.S. I love you. So Petite Sirah, I love you. And you know that someone you're giving a gift to loves big red wines. And so they might want to do 3 of our different styles of Petite Sirah.
Does everyone listening?
Yeah. That's what you want, right?
I'm just telling everybody, see, big red
Yeah.
wines,
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So that's a good, I love that you're helping people because I think, again, we've talked about, the beginning wine tasting. And if you don't know it, this is a cool thing to start to learn too.
You know, what's also fun, and one of our gifts are, to try a vertical of wines. So like our Petite Sirah, you might do the 2014, the 2015, and the 2016.
Oh, I see.
So that's considered a vertical. And if you open all 3, if you have a party and you open all 3, you're tasting how different the vineyard was in that particular year and how the wines have changed over the 3 years. So
I
that's
love
a vertical.
Yeah.
We've done that once. Yeah, we had some wine where we were able to change. It was a 10-year difference or something pretty big. And that's
Correct.
special, I think, when you can get to that. But like you've said over the years, like that your vineyard goes through different things every year. So each
Right.
vintage is going to be like, well, this is what was going on in that year. And I think over the holidays, if you have friends around and you're doing that tasting, it's a way to just discuss what has happened over the years,
Correct.
in the world as you reflect going into the new year. Ooh, that's
Right.
another gifting occasion, I think.
So besides gift certificates, maybe you just want to put something in someone's stocking, or you want a smaller gift. Get a good corkscrew. And this is one of my favorites. Of course, you have the knife that allows you to get the foil off easier. And this is a dual action. So you put your cork in there, and then it has 2 different levers to put your cork, and then of course that unscrews it. But this
I
is
didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, this is considered a dual action wine cork. A wine opener. I would always choose one like this. It's a little bit more expensive, and it's a heavier weight, which makes it easier to pull the cork out. And I would say this is probably $15 to $25. I can't recall what we paid for this. And I mean, corkscrews also can go up over $100 for a corkscrew. I don't think you have to spend that kind of money, but this is a really nice corkscrew.
That's really good for people that also travel, and that. In fact, I used
You
one
can't
of
take it on the plane. You
Oh,
cannot
okay.
take them
Well,
on
yeah,
the plane.
we road
I
trip
have
for.
had so many of these taken
Oh my
away from me.
Oh my gosh,
Ah,
Peggy's like,
yeah.
just leave. It's you can take the knife off for my charcuterie. No,
Right.
but I looked at
Right.
I've always used the knives for like if you're having a little bit of cheese or whatever. So I'm kind of one of that
Right.
kind of person.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
I actually used exactly that specific design corkscrew yesterday on that
Yep.
bottle of wine I was telling you about. And I kept looking at this going, I don't
How
understand
do
that
I
second
use it?
part. Now I
Yeah.
know. See,
Yep. Yeah.
everybody, Wine Time with Peggy, you've got to tune in because you find out all these little nuggets of information you had no idea. But and Nancy told me to do a full glass, and I
Ah,
told her I was going to tell on her.
yeah, you did. Now, if you have a friend who wants to learn about wine, and we remember earlier we talked about the aromas of wine and all learning about the Linez de Vin or the aromatherapy for wine lovers, you can get these wonderful kits. Here is you can get them on Amazon, one for white wine, one for red wine, and inside these there's it tells you all of the different aromas. It has a nice I guess it's not.
Oh, there we go. I can see it. Yeah.
And inside this one has 12 or 16 different little vials of different scents of wine. And so what you do is you practice and guessing at what this is. And I can't figure it out right now, but but you can get them for red wines and you can get them for white wines, and it's called a taster place. This one is, and it's just a wonderful aroma kit for you to improve your skills at the aromas of wine. And it's not very expensive, and you can get that online. There's bigger kits than this. This is the smaller, more affordable kits. Or if you have a wine lover but also loves cheese, this kind of a book is wonderful.
Oh, the wine and cheese box.
Yeah, and so it has, I don't know if you can see it or
Is it
not.
2 books in there?
It's 2 books in there, and one is all about cheeses, and the other one is all about wines. And I go to this book quite a bit when I'm trying to pair wines with cheeses, and I want to do something unique or different, either with the wine or with the cheese. It's just a great reference book, and it's fun to look at. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have a cookbook collection. I love to read cookbooks and to learn. So
I love the pictures.
And the pictures and I don't follow recipes, but I like to get inspired by recipes.
I like when
when
they write about the recipe. I like that
Right.
part when they're saying, oh, I discovered this from here and I try to recreate it this way, and this adds that. You learn about how to develop a dish.
Correct.
We just put up a recipe for it was vegan, deviled eggs, and she uses it was called Taste of Paris, or Taste Paris is the cookbook. And it's a recipe we've had on the site for years when the book came out, and it's a beautiful book. Oh, it's beautiful. It's one of those just exquisite ones. And so you take your avocado, and where you would have, this hollowed out section where the seed was, she uses hummus.
Oh.
And it's all like, nice.
I think
you've got to look it up in yellow with, I think, a little saffron or something.
Probably.
And I'm going, oh, that's really good, but it seems like really soft to me, right? No, you have to take sunflower seeds for the crunch. And I was like, see, that's where you learn you need to have those different layers of texture. Now, what would you pair with that with wine?
With hummus and seeds, you could do like a Sauvignon Blanc with that, I bet, or it doesn't sound like it has a lot of spices in it or anything like that. So a Chardonnay Sauvignon Blanc might be a nice pairing with that.
Yeah, because avocado doesn't go out of style in Arizona, I'm just saying, or anywhere in the Southwest. It never goes out of style for me, and it's green, so it's good for the holiday season.
Yeah,
So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
I encourage guacamole because it's a little bit of red in there too if you want. You can add some things in there.
Pomegranate into guacamole is awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, adds a little spice. Yeah. And I have a pomegranate tree in my new yard at my new house, so I'm trying to find all kinds of recipes for pomegranates.
Man, I wish I had a pomegranate book.
Oh, okay.
Is Kitty it's actually a biblical book. It's not just pomegranates, but the pomegranates on the front cover is
Oh,
by Kitty Morse, Kitty, Kitty Morse.
okay.
And she did all these was from Morocco. She lived in Morocco
Okay.
as a child and did a lot of the Judaic recipes too. And it just the pomegranate is you can make
Right.
pomegranate martinis.
Oh, you can do a lot. Absolutely. So I'm having fun with that. So another gift. I
And
love
you're
to
gonna have
give-
hummingbirds from them too, by the
Oh
way. Just
yeah.
saying.
Oh yeah. So I love to give books. I know everyone is I like to pick up a book and I like to give a book. And so if you have a wine lover who maybe wants to learn about a new region, or he or she has said, I just love Arizona and want to learn more about Arizona wine, this is a kind of wonderful book. Obviously, this is all about the Arizona wine industry, and it's a beautiful coffee table book. And of course,
We want to see you.
Of course, we are in it.
Awesome.
There's
Yeah.
Peggy and Curt.
Oh,
Hi.
Yeah, there we are at the
Yay.
vineyard. Just
Awesome.
and it has multiple pages about each of the wineries in Arizona. But
Oh,
you know,
cool.
every wine region has something like this, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, this is a more expensive book because it is quite large.
Wow.
And
Full
you know,
color.
but it's a full color, a lot of beautiful photographs. Janelle Bonifield, who created the picture behind you, took that picture and produced this book, and has just
Heard of her.
incredible. Yes, she's just incredible photographer. And but a book like that, you can get one on Sonoma County, or you can get a picture book of all the dogs of the Russian River Valley, for example. It's a fun way to introduce a wine region to someone that really loves wine.
And especially if someone's moved
nice.
to the area. I mean, look how many people are moving to
Correct.
Arizona. You know, I know California is moving in for sure, and it has been for the last 10 years for many reasons.
Right.
But you know, someone moved to the area, it's a nice way for them to get to know, you know,
Yeah.
what's happening there. That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
I'm with you too about a book, especially something like that is something you can pick up and
That's
look at every
lasting.
day and find something new. You
Right.
know?
It's not the kind of book you're going to sit down and read cover to cover, I don't
No.
think. But you're going to pick it up, read a couple about several of the wineries, and then put it down for a while, and then come back to it. It's
Yeah,
kind of
and plan
fun
a
thing.
trip.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Plan a trip, a wine route.
Yeah, and so, you know, there's such incredible photography, and if you take your own beautiful photography with your iPhone, there's great ways to just send it off and get it mounted. And like this is a beautiful picture of our vineyard. Let me.
I see that.
Yeah, and it is on metal.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
right.
Yeah, so you can take a picture that you've taken, send it off online, and have it mounted on metal, and then give a gift of a piece of a vineyard. So it's kind of something you've made, which I always
Personal.
like. It's very personal. I like to make gifts for people. I don't know if they like to receive them, but I like to make gifts. And so if you are handy, here's my last one for today, is this wonderful
Oh, cool.
all made out of corks.
Very cool.
Wow.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
Beautiful.
And so you can make a very simple design with just laying out the corks very simply. But you can buy these frames, which is a you know, at the secondhand store even. And then use that to put with a glue gun and with your corks that you've saved. Just make make a tray like this, or trivets, or and it makes a nice hostess gift.
It's nice to even hang if you have a nice wine bar area, you know, that kind of
Correct.
thing too. It's
Yeah.
I like it. Good ideas, Peggy.
Or
Those
you
are
can
good.
come to our cork crafting. So we do cork crafting classes in November and December, because we collect corks all year round. So we have to get rid of all those corks. So we host cork crafting classes. So
Oh,
you could
that's
probably,
cool.
Awesome.
yeah, you could probably find them near you also. But
we could send them to Australia and they can use it for those hats,
yeah,
little corks
yeah,
for the
yeah. You can do so many different kinds of things, and Pinterest is the place to get ideas on what to do with your corks.
Yeah, we used to back in the day we had our Champagne Sunday show, and this is when we weren't traveling full time. We would take our bottles and make little borders for our garden every time we'd finished a
Uh-huh.
show, because we did have
Mhm.
champagne on the show. Kind of our family tradition to every Sunday raise a glass. Doesn't always have to be bubbles, but
Right.
it happens. And we toast to what is positive, because and I think it's a good tradition to have, not
It
just on New
is.
Year's, because you've got to keep positive no matter
Yeah.
what is going on.
Right.
And so after every show, we'd go out and bury the bottle. And so we ended up with all these borders. And then we went to a national park in Louisiana, and lo and behold, this bicentennial
They
farm
have the same
had
borders.
the same borders all around their daylily gardens, and it looks
I
cool.
love it. I
So
love
it's,
it.
Mhm. They make
it's just
great borders. You just sink the bottle and you just leave this little corner out.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
And when the sun comes out and shines through the different colors of
Oh,
it's
yeah.
amazing.
I
Okay,
love
so
that.
I have a gift. Can I share a gift?
Yeah.
Okay, so now everybody will know what I get up to. Now, this has now
Uh-oh.
become a camera bag, but it is dual. This is, I didn't know I was going to show and tell. I don't know if it's going to come out. This is my handbag slashed. This is a Portofino.
Wow.
And so the back pocket is shiny, insulated. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, everyone, if you just go to, it's porto-vino.com.
Uh-huh.
And so can you see this little flap at the back?
Yeah.
No?
A little.
Okay.
Not really.
All right.
Now,
Well,
did
if
you-
everyone goes to the website, you can get backpacks, the messenger bags, satchels, tote bags for the beach, right? So they look like normal
Handbags.
handbags. And
Handbags.
so they have an insulated pocket at the back or wherever it needs to be. And you take your two of your two bottles of wine, it'll fit. And
Ah,
you've filled a little baggie, like what's
You
inside boxed wine.
decant them into the bag.
You put it in the bag, and it really does keep the wine fresh. You do 3 little clicks, and you can keep it in there for 30 days. We do not have that problem. But
yeah.
anyway, you put
Yeah.
it in the bag, in the insulated part, and you can get little ice things to go in there.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And you put it in there, and when you want wine, the little spigot comes out of a little flap that is hidden, and no one knows, and you could go anywhere in the world and have wine.
I love that.
And that's
You know,
how we
We
travel.
do it all the time.
I love that. And you could take it into the movie theaters when everybody's
Yes.
drinking
Yes,
their Diet Cokes. You can have your glass of wine.
Yeah.
Just for
exactly.
that. Okay, so the creators are actually from Arizona, Marisa
Uh-huh.
and her husband Gunnar, but they have since sold the company. But they've been on our show over the years, and
Mhm.
we first found out about it. We reviewed a tote bag, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And then they made the backpack, and I'm like, these two have to come on our show like now. Like, this is the coolest thing ever, because I would carry 2 bottles of wine or champagne in a backpack, and anybody who knows and
Oh,
has
yeah.
gone hiking with us know this is what we do, because the
Mhm.
birds come, and we believe that being out in nature and enjoying wine is
And the
probably one of the most
butterflies.
important qualities that you can
Mhm.
have in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And but 2 bottles on a backpack is kind of a drag, and then you have the empty bottles, and it's not good. And so when he developed this backpack, and I'm just like,
So cool.
bow down.
Sold.
And
Sold.
so it is awesome, but she would test them out by going to the movie theater. And then she
Mhm.
realized, okay, well, my friend wants red wine and I want white wine. So now she created one where there's a double spigot. So here's your red and here's your white. So you could go in and have, so we've tried it on champagne. You can put champagne or beer or anything bubbly, but only for an hour
An
before
hour.
things could happen. But
Right.
that I'm telling you, I've done demonstrations in hotel breakfast rooms. I mean, I have demonstrated this bag across the country. I should own the company just for
You
that.
should.
I
Yeah.
should.
No, I love that idea. No, that's awesome. The key about gift giving is be creative and look for the unique gifts. And but yeah, wine lovers, you can always buy them a bottle of wine, but try to find something that they're interested in associated with wine and
Mhm.
find that perfect gift.
Yeah.
Awesome. So everybody, the 12 days of Christmas, do you think everybody should have one gift a day? A wine
There
gift.
you go. Yep. I think so.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank
A
you so
bottle
much,
of wine a
Peggy.
day?
Yeah. Oh, here's Nancy. See, we always like to close with music for Peggy, and today we're going to play a song by Nikki Chris. Nikki Chris rocks. She's been on our show for a gazillion years, but we're all younger, just so you know.
Mhm.
Go to her website. It's Nikki Chris, and that's Kris. In fact, she's been on a lot of Christmas shows too. And we're going to play her song, "The Best Part of Christmas Is You." And if you're going to play that and really connect with your loved one, you should do it with wine. So I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
So Peggy is here every first Wednesday. Please go to ldvwinery.com and also keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. We'll see you in the new year, Peggy. Woohoo!
Sounds great. Happy holidays to everyone.
Happy holidays to
Absolutely.
you and
Cool.
happy holidays to everyone too.
It's that special time of year, time to hang up all the lights and spread some holiday cheer. Cozy up around the fireplace at night. It's such a beautiful sight. And if I had just one wish, I'd wrap you in a bow, place you right under the mistletoe. 'Cause this much I know is true. Church girls, hear them ring. Holly, hallelujah, hear the angels sing. Doesn't really matter what Santa brings. Don't need lots of presents or to sign a thing. Forget about all those silly family feuds. Gather round together 'cause there's no excuse. May all your dreams and wishes come true. 'Cause the best part of Christmas is you. Off to another gathering of friends. I can't wait until we're back home again. We toast with the ones that we know.